What's up, everybody? It's Chad coming back at you with some more cool herbal talk. Hope you're all doing well. I am. Definitely. Just hanging out, and not too much snow coming down now, but it's like been kind of different around here. Just snowing like off and on and off and on. But hey, that's part of living in New England. So today we will actually talk about an herb that was used a lot during the winter time because of its nourishing capabilities, and this is slippery elm. Slippery elm is actually it's the inner bark of the particular elm tree. The botanical name is Ulmus fulva. There's also other variations of that, but that's generally the one that you can find on the market. And I'll go ahead and show it to you. It tastes a lot better than it looks, trust me. So I've made this into a more watery, like a watered down, because what you can do with this is actually make a paste. And in times like this, in more northern climates where you had lack of food, what they would do is they would make a porridge out of this stuff. And I'll show you. Here's the actual powder. Obviously it doesn't come off the tree looking like this. You have to powder it yourself, but if you can get kind of a good look at that. And the thing with the powder is, if you do buy it, you want to make sure that you get it from a reputable source, because oftentimes it's very, very prone to being adulterated or tampered with. So generally, if you're in an herb shop and you're looking for it, you want it to be more on the grayish to a very, very light brown, or almost how you would envision if you live in an area where there's deer, what a fawn, like a fawn's color, looks like. If you see it as dark red or like a very dark brown, most of the herbalists that I hold in high regard would avoid it if it looked like that, because it's either been tampered with or taken at the wrong time of the year. So with this stuff, what you do with it, well, first off, let's get into, why is what's essentially sawdust, why is that good for you? It's very, very high in magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, just has a whole boatload of trace minerals with little bits of essentially sugars in them. There is a type of sugar that makes it gives it this mucilaginous, almost gelatinous taste and feel. They're called mucopolysaccharides. And now, see, with mucopolysaccharides, anything that generally has them, as far as your plants are concerned, you don't want to boil them. I've heard a whole bunch of variations on how to prepare slippery elm, and the one that I generally use is I will take a jar. I basically take a pint, because I don't really want much more than that in a day, and take the pint of that and then add about a teaspoon, like a heaping teaspoon, to it, and then just stir it up really well with a fork and just let it sit overnight. I mean, we're just talking room temperature water. There is a preparation that I have heard before that you take a little bit of water, you add your powder, you mix it up really well, and it gets into like it's like a mucusy looking paste, and then you add hot or boiling water to that. Me personally, I mean, yeah, maybe it might open some things up and make certain compounds more usable, but I find that because of the mucopolysaccharides, it almost looks like, you might say, envision like dropping a bunch of oil, like olive oil, into water and like stirring it up really quick, and you have all the little like globules. That's every time I tried it like that, that's what it seemed to come out as, and I seem to have good effect when I just do it as I just mentioned to you. I'm just mixing it in room temperature water, let it sit overnight, and I just take the whole thing down. I don't bother to strain it or anything. And so this was, not only is it nourishing, but see, it's very good with a lot of people who have leaky gut, because leaky gut and the things that accompany that, because it almost acts in a sense like an internal band-aid. So it kind of like covers that up. And then it has a really unique capability to break up like cysts and things like that within, or any hardened areas within the GI tract. Because if you can kind of envision this from an electrical standpoint, it's not that the slippery elm, it doesn't have any astringent qualities or anything of that nature, but it's almost like the minerals will, when they brush over that hardened area, it's almost like it displaces some of the cysts or the hardened areas within the GI tract, and it allows that to heal a lot quicker. So, and very simply looking at it, it just nourishes. Now, also, it has an affinity for the lungs, and a lot of people will say, well, how does drinking a tea clearly doesn't go into your lungs? No, what it does do is you have a whole bunch of nerve endings within the GI tract and in that area, and it basically soothes those nerve endings, because a lot of times people have lower respiratory problems. It can come from having just poor digestion, poor choice of food, and it causes a lot of inflammation in the stomach, and then that inflammation can just radiate out, and that can begin to irritate the lungs. So the slippery elm does help to soothe that. Now, it's also, in a lot of people, just drinking it as I have it prepared here, it can help with a lot of constipation, and overall, just think cooling, nourishing. It's very like earthy and grounding. That's kind of the gist that I get from it. And it has sort of a woody taste to it, obviously, but it's very has a sweetness as well. So it's really neat. I enjoy it. I don't use it that consistently because I've gotten over all my stomach problems and blah blah blah. But it's just as with any of the teas that I consume, I like to just constantly switch it up, because more or less I kind of put it into perspective how Aboriginal people live, or the old hunter-gatherer, how they were constantly changing with the seasons, and they were getting a whole wide range of different compounds, and it goes way beyond what we might think of as vitamin A, B, C, all those. There are so many different compounds within different plants that have such a profound effect, a lot of them for the better, on our physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, that we just don't get in what we buy at the grocery store. I mean, really, when you really break it down, what romaine lettuce is, or any of the just any of the vegetations, the only things that really come close to their wild progenitors would be something like arugula and mustard greens and the actual bitter compounds. So this is just another way to get wild foods and the compounds from that into your day-to-day, so you can kind of break up the monotony, and you can give your body things that it wouldn't normally be getting. I mean, I heard something at one point that the Kalahari, they consume over a calendar year something like 200 to 300 different plants, and it's like that, like the wide range of chemistry that they must be getting in their bodies, that just blows my freaking mind. But that's just me, because I'm really into this kind of thing. So anyways, that's that. Told you how to make it, told you what to look for when you're buying it in the store. One of the things to take into consideration, there are other plants I'll show you down the line, such as marshmallow, like marshmallow root, which has a similar effect. Now, the thing is with the slippery elm is when they do harvest it, they kill the tree. So it's it's good that if you're going to use it, to be a little bit aware of that and not to abuse it, and just take it as needed or as desired. And if you do have a lot of stomach problems and you've cleared up you're eating a diet that works for you, you're hopefully are aware of the impact that technology such as TV and lights and things like that has on your melatonin cycle, which affects how your body repairs itself at night, and Wi-Fi and all that. If you've addressed all those things, you can start using things like slippery elm, marshmallow root, and that'll help to coat and kind of give the GI tract the ability to boost its recovery. So anyways, that's my ramble for today. Just leave me any questions that you want, and subscribe, share, and as always, I'll talk to you later. See ya.